And if you don't believe me, I'll pull it out to show off this presser. Yes or no? Was it the truth? Yes or no?
That's right.
That's a rat. That's a rat. Is that a rat? That's a rat. That's an informant. That's a rat.
What was the consequence?
Yes or no? Were you not ratting on your own country?
What was the consequence?
Were you not ratting on your country?
I had both sides of it. If he won, I would fight Teal. If you win, I would have fought you.
But were you not ratting on your own countrymen? Yes or no? Did you not first message me?
Do you know the definition of
this
a
guy
rat?
acts like a gangster. He ain't no gangster. He's as fake as that belt. Okay? This guy ain't no gangster.
Why didn't you bring the belt?
This is an informant. You know what? You didn't get to see him. Because you missed the first press conference, you didn't get to see him. You'll see him when you want on Friday, and that's the closest you get to him. Show me that fake belt. Where's that fake belt that you really own? Show me. It's very beautiful. George.
That is just a little back and forth exchange, as we heard George Kambosos go below the belt once again by criticizing Devin Haney for having a fake belt, asking where that fake belt is. You're fake as that belt. You're a rat, like we heard yesterday about the the intel that Devin Haney told George Kambosos about. And let me counterpunch. George Kambosos, what we've known from him and what we've learned from him is that, yeah, he is a great showman. He does have the gift of gab. He can, talk smack with the best of them. Okay. Now, the question would be, would he be saying that to Loma? Probably not. But I think what he's trying to do, mind games, get up under Devin's skin, knowing that he's out of element, knowing that his father's not there, knowing a lot of things that are against him. And he's just pushing in and egging that on, like a lot of fighters have learned to do, to play mind games, live in people's head rent free, have you more worried about the words that they say besides the things that they do in the ring. It's a distraction at the end of the day. The belt category, I look at the WBC belt because that's what we're talking about. I don't look at anything from the WBC warranted anyway, really. I mean, it's just too much corruption to see some legitimacy in who is what. Because as soon as a belt is created, that means that person that is paying for that belt should be entitled to fight for that belt, or vice versa. Someone else should want to fight for that belt, or they should defend that belt. Okay, so where Kambosos is talking about, oh, well, hey, where's that fake belt at? Well, you have a fake belt too. It's called the franchise championship belt. And that belt, of course, is a belt that was created just out of thin air like that. And then actually that particular belt was more faker than the WBC belt. Why? Because the WBC belt at least was around before the franchise championship status belt. Okay. And that was once non-transferable. Okay. You couldn't get that belt or obtain that belt by beating someone until that particular fight where Teofimo fought Lomachenko. Okay. So that at least what gave it some type of legitimacy, but it is a new belt overall. Okay. So if that belt, in my eyes, is not legitimate based on where and when and why it was created, what do you think all those belts in the WBC were? Not legitimate. Okay. So we have to look at that the way it is. Now, as far as him saying that Devin's a rat and this, that, and the other, you have to remember George Kambosos was another undefeated mandatory fighter. Not saying he didn't earn his spot. Well, what I'm saying is he wasn't big as he was now. So Devin giving him information about Teofimo, was it the best thing to do? No. But, the angle that George is taking it is clever because it's like he puts it on like a country standard. Like, yo, I wouldn't do that to my countrymen, but you did it anyway. But George Kambosos has to remember something. He wasn't the emperor at the time. He was just a mandatory that upset Teofimo, which people thought Teofimo would be around for a long time, as far as being an undefeated fighter based on his skill set and, the things that he was capable of. Okay. But that, of course, is how boxing flows. Okay. Some people are around for a short time. Some people are around for a long time. But nonetheless, George Kambosos accepted that damn intel You know, he wasn't saying those type of things there. Why? Because he was at a certain status at that time. Okay? Counterpunch. It's amazing what people and success can do to certain people. Now, all of a sudden, Devin Haney is a rat. I think he was more as a person that was giving him useful information at the time when he was giving it to him. Now they're in a ring. Now the whole thing is switched around. Like, oh, man, you're a rat. I'll never do that to my countrymen. Never in a million years. But then, of course, you're the emperor now. So now you have a new sense of how you feel about intel and how about people and countrymen. Now these standards are so high. You know what I mean? But it is clever from George Kambosos. Yet again, he is a showman. Okay, so he's showing you guys what he can do outside the ring. Devin Haney, you know, is Devin Haney. You know what I mean? He's going to be Devin Haney. Kind of reminds me of a young Sugar Shane Mosley as far as his personality goes. You know what I mean? Well-taught, well-spoken guy. You know what I mean? Not really a big trash talker. You know what I mean? And he's not really even that good at doing it because he's not that guy. But George Kambosos is. So just giving you guys a little breakdown between Devin Haney and George Kambosos in the full press conference. You guys tell me what you think about this back and forth heated exchange. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.